The Digital India initiative of the Honorable Prime Minister is actually, to my mind, one of the most critical factors which has created the foundation for New India. And the reason why I say that is because it has created multiple opportunities apart from the fact that it has accelerated the entire growth initiative of the country across all sectors, if I may say so. And one of the biggest beneficiaries of this entire initiative has been the gaming and the animation and the fantasy sports industry. Think about it. Another 24 months, we'll have 1 billion people on the net. And every second, 3 new people are joining the net, 2 of them from a village. So the other very interesting thing of this entire Digital India initiative is that it has democratized access both to opportunity and as well as to access to the economic benefits which this growth is bringing. And both these elements again add up to what has brought to us to a point where amongst many other industries, the gaming industry, the fantasy sports industry especially, have benefited to a point that they are well suited to be now number 1 in the world. And why do I say that? Let me just share with you a few statistics. India's 3 of the top 5 highest grossing apps in India are games. An average Indian spends over 6 hours per week on gaming. We have over 560 million online gamers. We are the second largest community for online gamers in the world. And the industry is expected to grow by over 4 billion in the next 2 to 3 years. This is the pace at which it is taking shape. Let me share with you some more statistics. We are also the fastest growing mobile gaming market in the world. And India rose to the number 1 spot in mobile gaming downloads in 2020 last year. Actually, I would imagine the COVID also had a lot to do with it. And that's another thing which this pandemic has done, it has catalyzed several new trends which are now taking deeper shape into the economy, into our lives, into our society. And that's again where gaming and fantasy sports being a very significant part of that entire movement. Online gaming is now expected to be increasing at over 21% per annum. It's one of the fastest growing subsectors in one of the fastest growing industries in India. And there are reasons why this is happening. Look at it. The booming tech sector. You have an online game development companies have grown by more than 10x in the last decade. It's a phenomenal number. And this has just begun. The number of companies which are coming in, the kind of financing which is now accessible for them is one of the fastest rates across any other industry segment which we are witnessing today. I spoke to you about the COVID and the pandemic, how that accelerated this entire trend, not just work from home, but the very fact that we had more and more people spend more hours on games, on fantasy sports. And that has again a new trend which we see taking off in a more significant manner in our lives, in everyday lives of each of us. And then look at the other very critical factor, the young demography. Of that 1.5 billion human resources we'll have in 2025, 1 billion of those will be under the age of 35. With an average age of 29, India will probably be one of the youngest economies on the planet, at least for the next 80 to 90 years. And that's where you see the maximum level of elements of picking up new trends of the gaming and of fantasy sports taking off. It is giving a huge initiative, especially to the youth of the country, and which we are saying is also being now propelled by the huge initiatives taken by the state governments in India and the government in India towards sports. And put these all together, this is what is creating India into a powerhouse, or ready to be created into a powerhouse. The other interesting element is the advent of 5G. The moment you have 5G, and that is another focus part where the government is taking huge initiative, the moment we have 5G, you will have a huge upturn where gaming and fantasy sports is concerned. And that's why I say that the story has only just begun. Today we may be having close between 8,000 to 10,000 people employed in the sector. I imagine that to work force to increase considerably and very fast as we go forward in the next 24, 36 months. I think fantasy sports today has become an integral part of our society. I congratulate all the stakeholders which are getting together to see how we can take it forward, to bring in the credibility, to bring in the transparency, and at the same point of time, to bring in a sense of relevance. I wish the industry all luck. I do want to say that Invest India has a special team which will be working with the entire stakeholders in the industry to help them as we take forward this entire effort to make India the #1 fantasy sports country in the entire universe. Thank you again. Thank you.